Hey YouTube, Brezzy43 coming back at you. You guys are getting a second video today because the team is done and ready. So we are all good to go here. We're going to jump into some matches with the team. One potential thing that I did notice when I was talking with more friends about this team is that it does have a little bit of a tricky time with Tapu Fini potentially. So we just need to keep that in mind and see if we can mitigate anything going on with that. Like if we end up being really weak to certain Tapu Fini stuff, we might have to reassess certain members of the team and maybe change it. Because the trick room mode on this team, Incineroar, Mudsdale, and Bronzong all struggle with Tapu Fini. So keeping that in mind, we might, like Mudsdale is kind of neutral. I did some calcs on Mudsdale, and it looks like if we can guarantee that we're attacking first, we might end up being okay. So we just have to kind of keep our eye out on that. But the team is all set up. I'm gonna try some Darkest Lariat Incineroar for right now. See how that goes instead of Taunt for right now. Just something I wanted to test personally, and then maybe reassess from there. But the rest of this should be good to go. So if you want to play on ladder, you should go to anywhere you are. Doesn't matter where you are. I'm in the wild area somewhere by the Lake of Outrage. You're gonna want to connect to the internet. If you go to the Versus tab here and Battle Stadium, it will automatically connect you to the internet if you aren't already. From here, you're gonna go ranked battles. Double battles. I played a couple last night. To start climbing my way back into Master Ball because the rank system just reset, and so we are back in Great Ball tier to climb. Every time you reset, if you were in Master Ball, you drop to Great Ball and you have to climb back up from there. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. And here's our team. So we're gonna select this team. And it'll just start searching for us. So we're going to see how this goes. All right. I've done some testing on the showdown with this and the laddering, but not in-game yet. So we'll see how we do here. Let's take a look. Our opponent is rocking Zapdos, Entei, Metagross, Talonflame, Grimmsnarl, and Suicune. So potentially I have to be on the lookout for Tailwind on Suicune. This Grimmsnarl is kind of a tricky Pokemon to figure out what exactly it carries. A lot of times it can carry a multitude of different moves. And Screens is one of the options. So is like offensive, like Trick and Scary Face or Thunder Wave stuff. So I don't hate Moltres here, actually. Moltres matches up pretty well against a lot of what my opponent's doing. I can potentially get a nasty plot off if I lead Moltres Raichu, but on the same token, I do also really like Bronzong Mudsdale here because I have Mudsdale hits 4 of his 6 Pokemon super effectively, 5 of his 6 Pokemon super effectively, so maybe I want to go for something like that. Maybe I'll do that. Bronzong, Incineroar. We have to be mindful of this Suicune, but I think that's okay. Yeah, I'm going to try this. In theory, Bronzong should have a very good matchup against Metagross as well. Most Metagross carry Steel move, ground move, and then ice move or rock move or something like that, all of which we have a very good time with as Bronzong. So there's the Grimmsnarl and the Suicune. I don't know if Suicune gets Taunt. That's a good thing for me to check right now. Let's take a look and see. Suicune, do you get Taunt? You do not get Taunt. Okay, cool. So my play here is pretty easy. Or pretty straightforward. I'm just going to go ahead and fake out the Grimmsnarl and go for Trick Room. The Suicune could do something like set Tailwind or something like that, but this is fine. So we're going to go ahead and go for Trick Room and then just fake out the Grimmsnarl. They could, I don't think they would max Suicune, but they technically could. Okay, so nothing for my opponent. Grimmsnarl was going for something. Oh, that's an interesting tech. Okay. Okay, that's fine. Interesting. Okay. Roar Suicune. That's his. So he must. It's interesting that they thought I was going to go for the Trick Room option right away, but maybe that just makes sense. So this is a pretty free Calm Mind here, I think. I don't really know what this Incineroar is doing, or this Grimmsnarl is doing, but I definitely don't want to commit my max yet. So I'm going to go ahead and just go for the just go ahead and go for the Calm Mind. We'll see what this. Okay, so Scald comes out. It's going to do a decent chunk. But this looks like it's an attacking Grimmsnarl. Maybe he's calling my Calm Mind here. He could be doing that. That's a possibility. We'll see. Spirit Break into... Okay, so he did call my... Okay. Well, I'm going to just pivot back into Bronzong and keep forcing my opponent into that play. So let's go ahead and Moonblast, and then I could go for Trick Room here. I don't think it's a bad idea. It forces the Suicune to play defensively. So I think I'm just going to Moonblast Grimmsnarl, and then try for Trick Room again and see if he roars again. If they roar again, this is fine. Okay, Light Screen comes out, so it is Screens Grimmsnarl. Oh. Interesting. Huh. So I just get the Trick Room up now? Okay. Okay. Interesting. Well, maybe they're okay with it this time. I'm not sure. But we get leftovers recovery here on our Bronzong, which is great. What do I want to do with Finny? Maybe I think I can safely pivot into Incin here. I don't really want to bring out my Mudsdale just... What does my opponent have in the back? I have to think about this. They probably have Metagross in the back with this, and maybe like a endgame Zapdos or something. I think I'm okay with this. I'm just gonna go ahead and Iron Defense up. Sure. So he gets his double screens up. So the Grimmsnarl is Spirit Break, double screens, and then some other move. And then so far the Suicune has shown Scald, Snarl, Roar, and then most likely Tailwind. Most of the time Suicune carries Tailwind. Okay, Snarl again. That's fine. So a burn here would be kind of annoying. If my opponent went for the Scald onto the Bronzong. Hoping to catch a burn. I think I'm okay with just continuing to do this. I don't really know what my opponent's got on the back yet, and he's got more information about my team than he could roar me here, which would almost be ideal if I get to bring out the Mudsdale. Okay, Spirit Break comes out, just mitigating all this damage on Finny. This is all fine. I have a Citrus Berry on Finny. I can switch it out here soon. This might be a roar. If this is a roar, that's still not the end of the world, like I said. Let's see. Scald. Okay, he's trying for the burn. Let's see if they get it. Okay, no burn. That's good. Okay, so we're going to want to repivot out into Feeny eventually here. I think there's 2 turns left of Trick Room. So, Metagross. Yep, there it is. Okay. So we completely wall this thing, which is nice. I could see it maxing here potentially. So We could go ahead and pivot Finny out into Ensign. Let's just do a quick check and see how many turns left of Trick Room. 2. I was right. Okay. Let's go ahead and do that, and then let's protect on Bronzong. Get a little extra recovery. Part of me wants to body press the Suicune. Maybe I'll do that. Yeah, let's try that. They have screens up for a while, so we're just trying to play defensive here as best as we can. I know that this is not going to drop Metagross's attack because of Clear Body, but I want to reset the stat drops on Tapu Fini. I'm aware of that with my opponent, so we need to preserve the Fini as well, so that way the Mudsdale can't be burned. That's the biggest issue here, is that we don't want our Mudsdale getting burned from Scald. Okay, so Body Press comes out. It's a good damage. Okay, we called the switch right, which is great. They do get a defense boost for their trouble, unless they doubled this slot. If they scalded as well, that's a bit problematic. But I'm guessing Scald's going into the Bronzong here, or Roar, one of the two. Roar. Okay, so Roar comes out, forces my switch back into Finny. Okay. Inner Focus is going to prevent the flinch, so I'm just going to go ahead and preserve the Incineroar here and switch out to Bronzong and go for a Protect on Finny. This is my last turn of Trick Room, but it's my opponent's second turn of Max, and so far I've called one of their switches correctly. I'm hoping to call the next one. I'm struggling here a little bit to get my Mudsdale into position. My opponent somehow, it was a bit of a risky play in my opinion to assume that I was going to go for the Trick Room mode on my team, because I have a pretty offensive mode that would have actually done very well against them. So we'll see. We'll see what happens here. Snarl, okay. This is all fine. We don't really care about special attack on Bronzong. Quake, nice. Nice. Okay. Beautiful. So far my opponent has not done a very good job with their max turns. So I'm going to stall out my opponent's last turn of max here with a Protect. I still don't necessarily think that I need my Incineroar, because the last Pokemon on his team, none of them can be physical attackers. So I'm going to just switch Finny into, well, how many turns? We just switched in for the, so this is like our 3 turns left of Misty Terrain. Okay. I think I'm going to pivot back into Incin here. Incin's probably going to die because it doesn't have a recovery berry. It has a Shuka berry instead. But I'm going to protect on the Bronzong here, expecting a Roar into it, and then my opponent's probably going to target the Incin slot with something else. So let's see. I'm guessing Roar into Bronzong and then maybe Steel Spike or Quake into the Incin. So yep. They called the switch this time. That's fine. Quake there was pretty free for my opponent. Let's see. Yep. Okay. Okay, so we still have Misty Terrain, so we can't be burned. Yep, there's the Roar. Does it go through Protect? Okay, I guess it goes through Protect. I didn't know that. Okay, so Finny comes out. With this switch, I'm going to just go into Mudsdale. I'm just going to go hard Mudsdale here. I didn't know Roar went through Protect. That's good information for me to have now. So let's see. My opponent has 2 turns left of Light Screen, 3 turns left of Protect, or of Reflect. And how many boosts did they get? One on each. And then Suicune's been mitigated a bit. Okay. So technically I can Protect here on Finny, but I think I want to go for a Calm Mind, expecting my opponent to probably Snarl. There's 2 turns left of Misty Terrain. There is. Okay, so I'm gonna protect here on. I think I should protect on Finny and then switch Finny into Bronzong, so I can just reset that. And then I think I am gonna max here. I think I'm gonna max and go for a Quake into the Suicune. Yeah. Again, I can't be burned by Scald, which is good. I need to start boosting my Spadef. Metagross shouldn't be able to hit me super effectively unless it's carrying Ice Punch, which we don't know if it is or not. We've only seen Steel move and Ground move. So, now ideally I would only have to, okay, so we protect on Finny. Let's see what my opponent does. Iron Head into Finny, okay. Snarl, okay, that's fine. So I get a Quake boost for my troubles. I'm actually going to, oh, that was kind of an annoying critical hit. It still didn't do much damage, but I'm actually going to switch Finny out this next turn, but then I really don't want to have to switch Bronzong out again because I really value the, nice, good KO, good KO. Okay, we'll take that critical hit. Okay. So let's see what my opponent's last Pokemon is. It might be Zapdos. Zapdos? Okay. Zapdos is fine. I don't actually want to... Well, I might have to switch to... Let's see. I have a Quake boost up on my Finny. I think I'm going to switch to Bronzong here. Well, no. Is that the right play? I don't know if it is. Let's actually go for a double into Zapdos and see what my opponent does. I think my opponent's going to attack my Finny with Zapdos and Metagross both. So I'm going to go ahead and double the Zapdos. Okay, yep, Metagross protects. I think he's assuming that Thunderbolt's going to pick up the KO. Yep, it won't. It shouldn't though because of the Spadef boost. Okay. So we get this. Finny uses Moonblast. Good chip damage. This should pick up the KO now, I'm hoping. Or at least with the sand it will. Nice. The sand chip will pick it up. Beautiful. So this was a really good showcase of me stalling out my opponent's max. And then looking to capitalize as best I could. This is... Oh. Interesting. Whoa. You don't usually see Citrus Berry Zapdos. I wonder who has the Life Orb on his team then. That's super interesting, in my opinion. Okay. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and protect Finny, and then just Quake the Metagross. I have to hope that Zapdos doesn't pick up the KO, or doesn't pick up a burn with Heat Wave. That would be really annoying. Citrus Berry Zapdos. Usually you see Life Orb. I wonder who... I guess that Life Orb would have KO'd through... I didn't pay attention to the HP drop. I guess Zapdos didn't lose any HP. Okay, so we go for a Protect. I'm gonna guess he's gonna read this. Yep. Okay, that's fine. I could have made a better play there, potentially, too, but this Quake into Metagross. I'm worried about a policy potentially here, but I think this is just good. It's just good damage, yeah. Okay, weakness policy comes out. That's a little bit scary. Maybe I should have continued to ignore it and just gone for another attack into Zapdos, but I don't know. Okay, the Reflect is finally gone. I think that might have been a mistake on my part. We might still lose this one now. Let's go ahead and go for a Muddy Water. I didn't get any defense boosts on Okay. Let's see how much Ironhead does. It might be a lot. Ooh. Metagross avoids, that's fine. We don't really care too much if Metagross avoids or not. We just wanted to hit that Zapdos. That was almost a one-hit knockout, or basically one hit. That was probably a mistake on my part. I probably should have just targeted the Zapdos because, again, I've got this Bronzong in the back here with leftovers. That's just going to get off a body press here, or get off a Iron Defense here, and then be fine. Metagross can't touch this thing at all. We've seen Quake and Ironhead so far, and Protect. So I'm assuming the last move is Ice Punch. So I can't Protect Mudsdale, but I am. I'm just going to go for an Iron Defense, high horsepower. If my opponent calls this... Okay, they just canceled. That's fine. They could have attacked Mudsdale and knocked it out, and then we get a free body press up, but Mudsdale can't Protect in this situation. My opponent didn't know that, I guess. We only showed 2 moves. But, yeah. Okay, that was a good win. Potentially a little bit of a misplay. Let's take a look at their team. Who has the Life Orb? Citrus is super interesting. Oh, but you're not... You're bulky. Okay. Bulky Zapdos is super interesting, in my opinion. I don't know if it... I feel like you want to invest more in speed, and maybe you want to lower your special attack a little bit. He's not even timid either. Okay, that's interesting. Entei has Assault Vest with Inner Focus. Yep. Sacred Fire stuff. Policy Metagross with Zen. Okay, so we were set up perfectly to wall that thing with Bronzong, because Bronzong resists Iron Head. It can't be hit by Stomping Tantrum, and it quad resists Zen Headbutt. So we would have been fine there. Interesting Talonflame set. No Focus Sash. Tailwind, Taunt, Dual Wing Beat, and Will-O-Wisp. Okay. And then Grimmsnarl had the Clay and did have Sucker Punch. Okay. So no Life Orb on this team. Did this thing have Tailwind? It did. So he had 2 Tailwind options on his team, which is super interesting to me. And then Weather Ball Zapdos is also pretty cool. No Protect though. Wow, this team doesn't have. This team only has 1 Protect. Okay. Cool team. We'll do 1 or 2 more here. We'll see how long the next one takes. I did a couple of matches last night, or a couple of games last night with my Colossal team, and took a couple of nice wins. So, you love to see that. Okay, super. I don't even know what Cramorant does. This team is crazy. Corviknight, Cresselia, Moltres. Well, I don't think I want to go Trick Room here, although I, in theory, could. But I worry a little bit about... I have to bring Raichu and Incin to deal with this Corviknight, I think. Yeah, I think I have to bring the other mode of this team. I don't think I want to go Trick Room mode here. This other mode isn't even bad against Trick Room necessarily. It's got 2 Protects. It's got good typing. We're pretty bulky on both of these, so let's go ahead and go with Moltres Raichu. Moltres Raichu is good. They have 2 potential Trick Room setters, I believe. I don't know what Cramorant does, but and then Finny Incin probably. Is Finny even good here though? Maybe we do Incin Bronzong. Finny does wall a lot of their team. Yeah, okay. I like Finny. Yeah. I just have to not let Trick Room go up, I think. It's possible that I shouldn't have brought that I should have brought Bronzong. I don't know though. We'll have to find out. Super interesting team with a lot of Pokemon that, like, people started running Celesteela now instead of Corviknight, and then you don't see Cramorant like at all. I should familiarize myself real quick. I've got a browser open here. Okay. Cramorant. Okay, Cramorant. What is the Kaparaja? Kaparaja. Okay. So I'm gonna probably just switch the Raichu into Incin here, and go for Fiery Wrath. Cresselia could ally switch, so I'm just not gonna mess around with it. I'm just gonna make the hard switch here into Incin. My opponent's probably gonna max Kaparaja here. I could have in theory Volt switched into Incin there, but I didn't know what was gonna be protecting and what was gonna be doing what, and that might have been better as well. But we'll see. Kaparaja is pretty weak to just Intimidate spam, so turn 1 max for my opponent. G max Kaparaja. I don't even know what it does. Shows how familiar I am with this Pokemon. It's not usually a Pokemon you see very often. Calm Mind Cress. Okay, and it's faster than my Moltres. Okay, interesting. Okay. Fire Wrath. Steel Surge. What is it? What does that even do? Okay, so that's an entry hazard. Okay, it's like Stealth Rocks, but for Steel types. Okay. But for Pokemon weak to Steel. Interesting. Okay. I'm gonna Fake Out and then Parting Shot the Kaparaja. Or not Fake Out. I'm gonna Protect and then Parting Shot the Kaparaja. Okay. I'm gonna pivot back into Raichu here. I break the Sash here on entry because of the hazards, but that's not a big deal. I'm gonna just Fake Out the Crest next turn and then probably go for a. Okay. Well, we lose our Raichu, but that's not the end of the world. I don't know how much Raichu was doing in this matchup, but with this lead from my opponent, I really don't know. Okay. Well, that means Incin gets a boost for a third time here. Is this leftovers? Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna go back into Incin, get another. Get another Intimidate off. I'm just gonna go ahead and max the. Just go ahead and max this this Moltres here, and go into the Cress, and then Fake Out the Cress as well. The Cress attacked me. I don't know if I want to Fake Out, actually. The Cress attacked me with Moonblast last time. Maybe I'll just double the Cress. Let's do that. Because he Moonblasted last time, which means he might put my Moltres at like proc the weakness policy as well, which would be a big deal. And that Kaparaja is at -3 now, so I'm not super scared of it, to be honest. Let's see. Okay, there's the ally switch. That's fine. So they have ally switch, Calm Mind, Moonblast. That's super weird. Okay. Well, we do get the double off into the Kaparaja. Drop in special defense. Darkest Lariat ignores defense changes. You're at half. We are Shika Berry. This is gonna probably deal like, I wouldn't really imagine that much. Yeah, that did nothing. Okay. So he brings his Spadef back to neutral on the Caparaja, or +1 at the Caparaja, +2 on the Crest because of the Calm Mind. So my opponent's max is over. Let's take a look and see what they have in the back again. They have Corviknight. So we need to make sure that we preserve Incin here. I'm going to go ahead and play around a ally switch, I think. Well, hold on. Okay. I could Parting Shot here, but my opponent might ally switch again. Let's see. Okay, Calm Mind. Okay, so I do get I do read this turn correctly with the ally switch. And I pick up a knockout on... I don't know if this knocks out the Crest or not. We'll find out. But Flare Blitz should probably pick up the KO on the Caparaja. Nice. Let's see how much this does. I don't know how much it's going to do. Nice. Way to go, Incin. Okay. Crawdont. Okay. I'm going to Airstream there. My opponent could... I'm going to Airstream and switch to Finny, I think. Well, my opponent could go for ally switch, so I'm actually going to Airstream there and switch to Finny here. If my opponent goes for Trick Room, that's kind of annoying for me. I don't really want to like see Trick Room come out because Crawdont is really slow, and Finny completely walls Crawdont anyway. So we're gonna go ahead and just switch into this, and then if my opponent ally switches, that's fine with us. We'll get to a positive spot here. We'll give our Finny a speed boost. Rest. Okay, interesting. So they are Pecha Berry or something, whatever the berry is. Okay, so Airstream comes out. We'll put us both at +1. Oh, he's not. Interesting. Rest without the berry? Without a berry to wake up? That's weird. Okay, this is going to do pretty much... Oh, that did way more damage than I thought. Was it a crit? No. Crawdont's just that strong. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and go with a Fiery Wrath and then a Moonblast. This should do a hefty amount if it doesn't just KO. Fiery Wrath. It might flinch too. It has a 20% chance to flinch being a spread move. And then we outspeed with both now because of the Airstream boost. Let's see how much Moonblast does. Nice. Nice job, Finny. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I wonder what item they were on Cress. Okay, well. Fiery Wrath is very good against this thing. We are still +1. We haven't had our policy procced yet. But we are +1 speed, +1 special attack. I think Muddy Water might actually be better than Moonblast here. Just for accuracy drop potential. Yeah. Let's see. Battle was canceled. Okay. My opponent could have potentially ally switched to wake up there. That was weird. I wonder if he's going to let us see his team. Because I'm curious what the... Yeah, let's take a look. I'm curious what the item was on Cress. So AV Crawdont, max attack, max Spadef. Okay. Wakan Berry for electric typing. Interesting. Okay. So no protect here. No protect here. Violite, Corsola, Strength Sap, Will-O-Wisp, Nightshade, Curse. No. So it's a physical set. Interesting. Heavy Metal with leftovers, max attack, max spadef. Fissure, Heavy Slam, Heat Crash. No protect there. People don't run protect. They need to run protect. Citrus Berry, Brave Bird, Ironhead, Tailwind, Taunt. This is an interesting Corviknight set because Corviknight historically used to be a bulk up Pokemon. You would run this thing for bulk up purposes, and then you would just look to try to get a couple bulk ups off and then sweep that way. And then the crest set was Key Berry. It says Berry will increase the holder's defense if it's hit with a physical move. Well, we didn't hit it with a physical move at all. Moonblast, Calm Mind, Rest, and Allies, which I guess we did see all the moves. So no psychic move on this crest. No Icy Wind, no no Trick Room. Interesting. You see some crazy stuff on these. This is like max speed crest too. What in the heck? Interesting. Okay. Well, so far we haven't played against any Finny yet. I think I'm gonna call it here though. We'll do more content another time with more videos or with more battles with this team. Let's see where we did. I think we easily made it into Ultra Ball. But from here, it's just one more tier to get up to Master Ball. So, but as you can see, like stalling out your opponent's Dynamax even a couple of turns is a big deal. Like that first game when we played against the Metagross, things got dicey with my misplay of attacking. I should just ignored the Metagross completely until the end, because I didn't need to run the risk of it being weakness policy, and weakness policy is a pretty common item on Metagross. Here, they give you some BP for that. And then the Citrus Berry Zapdos was kind of crazy. And his bulky Zapdos set actually ended up letting him live the Rockfall. But I delayed my Dynamax a couple of turns with him. I was able to preserve 3 of my Pokemon. Their Roar play was really cool, but they kind of put themselves on the back foot with like the Grimmsnarl. Like they delayed their screens, which was super smart, but they weren't really threatening any offense, right? Like I had offensive pressure and Trick Room pressure the entire game because I preserved my Mudsdale for so long, and I just kept switching instant around, and I just kept I kept putting them in a position where they had to answer the Trick Room. And the one turn that Trick Room did go up, they should have probably roared me sooner, because Suicune doesn't really have offensive potential really at all. So that was kind of interesting. And then I picked up the knockout on Grimmsnarl, and then picked up the knockout on Suicune, which the critical hit helped me with that, obviously. We traded critical hits there. Mine just ended up with a knockout. Like, they got a critical hit on my... their critical hit didn't matter, but, like, I like to think about variants that way, where, like, we both got critical hits, which was nice. Mine just happened to be a bit more beneficial because it picked up a knockout on the Suicune through Reflect. And then, like I said, my mistake was attacking that Metagross with a ground move. But then this last game, my opponent maxed on turn 1, and I was scared of a rock move from the what's his name? Or actually, I switched to Incin. And then I Fiery Wrath, didn't I? Yeah, so that did half HP, which means it probably would have done 3/4 had I not got the Intimidate off. But then I was able to protect on turn 2, which stopped the Moonblast from hitting me. I did lose Raichu in that process, but Raichu ended up not being important at all because they didn't bring their Crawdaunt or anything like that. Or not Crawdaunt, they did bring Crawdaunt. They ended up not bringing Cramorant, which Raichu would have helped against Crawdaunt for sure, but also like... I was expecting Trick Room with that lead. I was expecting Crest to go for Trick Room, and then the Copperage had to Dynamax an attack or something like that, or just like protect or something. Because Crest is so bulky that I have to hope for a flinch on my Moltres Fiery Wrath to get the KO there, or to stop Trick Room from going up. But they didn't even have Trick Room, so it ended up just not mattering. But I managed to delay 2 turns of my opponent's max, and even though they picked up a KO on Raichu, it didn't matter because I had gotten 3 attack drops on their Capparaja, with 2 Intimidates and a Parting Shot, And I still had my most important Pokemon in that matchup, which were Incineroar and Tapu Fini to support the Moltres. And then I just needed to get that one speed boost, like you saw with Max Airstream from Moltres, to outspeed for the rest of the game. And then I guaranteed that I was moving first. So just some small little things there that I feel like I did well. But like I said, one big mistake was not attacking. Was attacking the Metagross, and then something I could have done that might have been more optimal was Volt Switch the. I could have Volt Switched the Cresselia turn 1, just for the extra momentum, just to like get an extra chip damage, because just hard switching Raichu out like that kind of defeats the purpose of the Pokemon. So I just decided, like, I didn't know who was going to protect and who was not, and what they were going to do. I've seen people do crazy stuff, and Ally Switch changes things a lot. So like, depending on how things look from there, who knows? But I definitely think that a more optimal decision that I could have done there was either go for a fake out to deny the Trick Room, or Volt Switch. Yeah. So interestingly enough, though, my opponent didn't just attack the Raichu slot with Max Quake right away, which I thought was interesting. They went for a steal move. They wanted to get up their hazards, I guess, which hazards are not really useful in doubles that much. But yeah. Anyway, I could keep talking about that, obviously. I think that it was good. We obviously got wins there. So definitely a good set. The team's looking solid. I want to play against some Tapu Fini. I want to see if my matchup against Tapu Fini is really bad. So we'll have to see. But thank you all very much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed the content. Sorry if I ended up talking too much, but I'm hoping that that the next battles with the team keep going well. I'll probably be back to do some more content tomorrow, and then I'll also make sure that my Pokemon account is registered to my Nintendo account, and I can get all entered in that tournament for next week. So thanks again for watching. If you like what you saw, like the video, subscribe, comment, anything you can do to show your support. It's always appreciated. Let me know any feedback you have in the comment section. I do enjoy reading those, and I will catch you all in the next video.